Hello, how are you? My name is Kelly, and this is SheepDreamery Videocast number 9. Today is January 9th, 2013, and I hope you are having a lovely Wednesday, hump day. Hope you're having a great hump day. I'm doing swell. I know a lot of people right now seem to be sick and having the flu. I'm sorry for all you sickos. I got a flu shot back in November. I actually have a really compromised immunity system, so I have to get a flu shot every year just to protect myself from people who avoid, vaccinations and flu shots in the first place. So, that's one thing about me. Let's see. It is a very bright and sunny day here, although it's pretty cold, but it's a day where my dog is outside and enjoying life to her fullest extent possible. So if you hear a lot of barking, that's just her outside being happy as could be. Because it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If it was later in the evening and she was barking like crazy, it would be because, I may have mentioned this before, but there are 2 dogs owned by the same person in this neighborhood, and whenever she takes them for a walk, every dog in the neighborhood loses their mind. And Macy has assimilated to the neighborhood and joined in with all the other dogs because she likes doing what all the other dogs in the neighborhood are doing. So you may hear her bark. She's also really good at chasing squirrels away. And that's one of the reasons that we got her in the first place, was because we had squirrels in our attic when we moved here. When we moved in, the first week that we moved in here, I had actually broken my foot. So the doctors didn't even realize that I had a broken foot until I went to a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon, and he saw where I broke my foot. So we move into this house, we're barely unpacked, and then I had to have surgery on my foot. And so I was stuck in this room every single day, and I could hear the squirrels running around above me. And my husband was like, I don't hear anything. Well, you're at work. You're not laying here in bed 24/7. But finally he did kind of come around to agreeing, yeah, there's squirrels in the house. And it didn't matter what we did. We had critter control. We had all kinds of traps set inside the house, outside the house. We had a light hanging in the attic that would just flash and flash and flash so that they wouldn't want to nest there and keep their home there. That did not stop them a single bit. They were everywhere. It was insane. So we could not keep the squirrels away, and our other neighbor loves to feed the squirrels. Well, the squirrels aren't in her attic, so she doesn't care. So after a lot of consulting, we figured out that the best thing for us to do would be to get a dog, because dogs are loud and barky, and squirrels don't really like dogs. So that has worked out great because we love our dog and we hate squirrels. and the squirrels are outside of the perimeter of the yard. So I think we'll always have a dog, at least one. And maybe two soon. I'd like to get another dog. We'll see what happens. I go to Pet Finder an awful lot. Okay, so anyway, if you hear Maisie barking, it's just out of complete joy that she has for saying hello. I'm outside. I love nature. And I'm saying that also because I'm recording earlier in the day. Usually I'm recording in the evening after she's all pooped out from running around and barking. But that's not the case today. So, what is new in the world of SheepDreamery? I've been doing some dye days. And I don't remember if I showed the other week that I had completed the sock. So I'm just going to show it again. This is the Mabel sock. Yeah, now I do think I talked about it. Mabel socks pattern by Sadie, Blue Ruin on Ravelry, and then her formal name on Ravelry is Sadie Bellegarde. And she gifted me the pattern of Mabel socks, so I made them. And actually, Darren on Knitting in Circles, the podcast, he also made a pair of these, and his are much longer and taller, and like he said, there's plenty of stretch in these. They're really great. I made mine as an anklet because my hands were getting really tired of doing the twisting, which can be a problem sometimes, but it's a really great pattern. So anyway, the colorway here is called Sea Glass, and this is also the colorway that is going out in the fat fiber boxes for January. These are the samples that I sent out. Now, if you're into the fat fiber boxes, you might not know, but for this month, the fat fiber box is not going to go on sale until January 19th. Usually it goes on sale on the 15th, but because of the holidays, everybody's been kind of slow at getting their stuff in. Like, for example, I ordered my undyed yarn back on like December 27th, and then I didn't get it until Friday, January 4th. So the first thing I had to do on Saturday was dye everything that had been soaking overnight to get it ready, to get it milled off, to make it in time to be in the fat fiber box. So, excuse me a minute, I need a drink real quick. So, Saturday was a giant dyeing fiesta. Olay! But this is what it looks like caked up. And actually, I haven't dyed any for the shop yet. I got all of the sample ones dyed and sent off, and then I started dyeing some other things. So I still need to dye some sea glass colorway for people that are interested in it. Last month I dyed a lot of the Aurora Borealis colorway in different weights and things like that, but people didn't really buy a whole lot of it. So I'm not sure that I want to invest a lot of time dyeing in a colorway that, even though people might be receiving, they're not really interested in buying in the first place. I think what I might do is just wait for people to say, this isn't in your shop yet, are you going to be dyeing any? And then I'll say, yes, I'll dye it. and then let them know when it's coming. Do it that way. But I have a whole lot of new colorways that I've dyed up that are pretty experimental. We'll see how it goes. I was hoping that I'd be able to show some of them today, but they're not completely dry, so I don't want to twist them yet. I'm kind of picky about when I will touch my yarn. So it's not dry enough for me to want to touch more than it already is right now. So I'm sorry I don't have more to show you of that. Finished objects. You may have recalled that last week I had attempted to knit a square. I tried to knit a snuggle for Sadie's charity drive. The FALKAL is the tag for it on Ravelry. And if you go to Sadie's Ravelry group called Yarnivore, instead of a carnivore, it's a yarnivore. If you go to her group, you can get all of the details. Last week, I did not knit a square. I did not knit a rectangle. I did not knit a parallelogram. It was terrible. But this week, ta-da! I have a square. So I've got one square done, and I used just a really basic Kate Gardner's Mitered Crosses blanket. I used the square pattern for that, except obviously I didn't cut any of the, I didn't make any of the extra squares. I just kept going with the triangles. And then made the border. It was really easy. It's really easy because I've made over 56 of those squares that I still need to knit together for my daughter's wedding blanket. If you ever want to come visit, I've got plenty of activities planned. They all involve seaming the blanket. If you love that kind of thing, come on over. What else have I finished? Nothing really. I have a work in progress. Oh, wait a minute! I do have yarn to show. Okay. These two will be going up in the shop. They are aqua and kind of a purpley blue, if you can see. And then there's white in them. My husband told me I should leave more white in my yarn. He thought that would be a good idea. So I'm taking his advice this time around, and we'll see what everybody thinks. But I don't have a name for these yet. But they'll be in the shop sometime this week. And then, let me show you this one first. It's blues and grays, and a little bit of purple. This one is called January Skies. And I also made, at the same time, can I stack them? Let's see. Stackity stack, stack, stack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gray, and then so they're all from the same dye lot. I dyed this one at the same time that I dyed all the other colors to coordinate with it, And I think what I'm going to do is make up some mini skeins. You'll get the one combination and then 4 others that match with it. Matchy matchy. And we'll see if people are interested in that kind of thing. If they're like, yeah. I had mentioned it on Plurk, and somebody did say, yeah, I would be more interested in buying mini skeins, just that I can try out the yarn more often. So if you are into Hexa Puffs or making sock blankets, be on the lookout. I think I'm going to go by weight instead of yardage. I'm trying to figure out what the best business practice is for it. And I saw that there are some people who sell mini skeins by the grams and then charge a certain amount. And I think that the amount that they charge is kind of high. And I don't know if that's because they're using some really fancy yarn, but they don't even really specify what yarn base they're going to give you. They just say, okay, join up for this club, and this is how much it is a month, and this is what you get. And when they say this is what you get, you don't get to determine what you're getting. You just kind of have to wait and see what's going to show up. So I don't think I want to do that kind of thing. I think I would just want to go ahead and make up mini skeins and see if they sell. And if those sell, then I will make up some more. If they don't sell, then I guess I'll be making some more Hexa Puffs. Okay, so I did have yarn to show, and I showed it. So, yeah, that'll all be in the shop. Works in progress. The other night, I started a hat. This is the, it's going to be the Rose Red by Isolde Teague. And actually, I'm kind of frustrated right now because this yarn doesn't stretch a whole lot, and I just moved all of it over from the DPNs to the needles, and it's really hard to work with right now, especially for a person who has arthritis and carpal tunnel. It's not fun at the moment. So I think I might put it back on the DPNs until that just gets too big to handle. The other thing I started was a gifted pattern. This is Cephalopod Yarns Skinny Bugga in Coconut Monkey. And this is the Rivendell cowl pattern that was gifted to me, and I think it's turning out very nice so far, even though I did naturally screw up somewhere. I can't get through a single pattern without messing up somewhere, but also I was going to show you my little dangly dude. We watched The Hobbit the other night, and I was like, this color would be perfect for Rivendell. I also play Lord of the Rings online, so I love getting on my horse and riding down into Rivendell and seeing all of the autumn colors and listening to the water. I know it's just a video game and stuff, but it's still kind of fun and magical. And they use all of the music that Howard Shore used in the movie. So you kind of have the background music while you're on your horse, ka-donk, 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 and then you get to go into the last lonely house, and it's full of characters from the stories, and you get to talk to them, and it's a good time. And hey, it's free to play, so maybe someday you should try playing it. They have role-playing servers. If you don't know anything about MMOs and you're brand into it and you want to start in the most gentlest of places, an RP server is a role-playing server, and that's usually where the less aggressive people are. You're not going to be killed by other players unless you're doing something absolutely stupid. Basically, you would have to go into enemy territory and kill, like, Bilbo Baggins before anybody would come after you. So that's a good, gentle place to start. The people are a little friendlier. Sometimes you can get more help in those kinds of places. And it's also like Ravelry in a lot of respects. Sometimes you can ask a dumb question and get a lot of help, and other times you can ask a lot of dumb questions and people are just going to be like, so go during the daytime. There's less children on during the day. So that's my little MMO tip, and I'm really looking forward to this cowl. It is so nice. I'm down to chart 2 on it right now. I really love the colors. And when I first got this colorway, I wasn't sure why I was attracted to it, but I just felt really drawn to it. And I don't even think it goes with my coloring very well. Better than the Downton Abbey Christmas and Downton colorways. Oh, by the way, I am not going to be knitting the pattern that is being offered on the Jimmy Beans website. Mostly because I don't like the pattern. Instead, I'm going to make a drawstring bag, I think. There are a lot of really nice small drawstring bag patterns on Ravelry for free, and I think that would be more useful than what they have planned. I know there were a lot of really unhappy people who were like, okay, this was supposed to be a mystery knit along, and now we know exactly what it is, and we're not interested. Some people are definitely riled up. Definitely riled up. Not me. I just went, no. And then thought, what could I do? So I'm going to make a bag. I think that'll be nice. A little tiny bag to hold, I don't know, lavender from my garden. That's one of the good uses I can do for that. Just hang it up in my closet. Make everything smell nice. Oh, I got this in the mail today. Apparently, Knitpicks has some catalog competition. This is called Willow Yarns. And They're based out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And at first I thought it was like, remember that it was almost like a Tupperware Longaberger scam where you're selling beads and yarn and craft stuff. And then they went out of business because people were like, yeah, we're done with these parties. But that was the first thing I thought was, oh boy, because they've got like a membership thing where you get 10% off, and I was like, what is going on? Most of the yarn is acrylic, so I don't have a lot of interest in acrylic unless I'm making some monsters. I guess that's it. Okay. Oh, Joanna from, how do you say it? Spin Knit Farm? Is that right? Farm Spin Knit? Spin Farm Knit? One of those. Anyway, she's having a spin along, and the spin along is very specific. Sorry, I need to drink real quick. She wants people to spin with wool that is considered a conservative breed, a rare breed, and as it turns out, I actually have some. When I signed up for the Craftsy class for spinning, I also got the Luette kit, and it comes with Jacob wool, which is considered a rare breed, conservative breed, and I also have the Navajo Churro, which is considered a conservative breed, rare breed. So I'm going to try to spin a little bit of that. I think that goes on for quite a while. Oh, and the sock that I'm knitting is for a knit along going on in the Knitting Den, Denise, and Sock Bunny, Kim's knitting groups, where you just knit a pair of variegated socks. And so I just have until the end of January to knit the other sock. I hope I can do that. I hope I remember and not lose track. And Sadie's Sadie's knit along goes until the end of February. So, knit a snuggle. I don't have any minions, Katie. But if you knit a square, please post it in Sadie's group and let her know, hey, I knit a square and this is where I'm going to donate it, just so that she can keep track of what's going on. I'm sure that if you watch me, then you probably watch all of the other knitting podcasters, and you've probably already signed up to knit for them, or crochet, or sew. You can do any of those things to participate, as long as you get it done and then you donate it. And one of the prizes will be a skein of yarn donated by me. But you'll have to post about it in Sadie's group to be able to win a skein. Okay, what else? Oh, so talking about the knitting, I got this the other day, the Fleece and Fiber Source book. This book is heavy. There's a lot of knowledge in this thing. They should make it in Kindle format, because this is heavy to pull out and stuff. So I have a lot of reading to do. And one of the women that wrote this book also, I don't know if it's free anymore, but it was free the other month or a few weeks ago on Craftsy. It's just a really small lesson called Know Your Wool, and she just talks about the different kinds of wool. So you can, you know, if you'd like to know beyond, hey, this came off a sheep, getting to take that mini class is a good way to kind of learn things. And reading through this book, I think, is going to be helpful for me. I'm also reading Abby Frankmont's Respect the Spindle, and we'll see how that goes. I still have not done a whole lot of spinning, so everything still looks like a string of cat poop. Sometimes you fail. That's all. Oh, and speaking of my gifted pattern and Amy and Darren from Knitting in Circles, they're also having a knit along where if somebody gifts you a pattern, you knit it. And so I am including this in my pattern. I think that goes until the end of January. It's just a quick one. And then I also got this book the other day, November Knits. And it has a lot of sweaters in it that I am looking forward to knitting. It also has a skirt where there is no way I would be caught dead in that, because your stomach has to be perfectly flat to wear that. No thank you. I am not 18 anymore. Let me find the sweater that I really liked. Maybe it's at the beginning. Well, I love this one. This is the Oil Cardigan by Gudrun Johnston. I pretty much love anything that she writes, and I just got the hat pattern Linga. So after I do my red rose hat, I'm going to knit up the Linga and see how that looks. Okay. Yeah. Alright. This Cobblestone Trench Coat by Vera Valkyme. It's got a really awesome hood on the back. And I love Vera Valkyme stuff. Right? I mean, you do too. You've knit a color affection, right? I wore mine last week, and I forgot to even mention that I was wearing mine. But I really like the hood on the back of this, and I like the pleats in the back. It just has a really nice softness to it. So I'm really looking forward to that one too. I'm sorry, I need another drink. I am all... Ugh. Okay, what else? Oh, last Thursday I did a virtual knit night. And that was really interesting and very fun. I got to meet Nancy, whose name is Knit Jazzy, and I got to meet Jenna Krupar, who made the really cute pig that I knit for my dad, and I got to talk to Susan of Girl Cave Bags and tell her to quit her day job and I would buy a bag from her every week. She didn't take me up on that offer, but she should. Do what you love. So, but that was fun. If you don't know what a virtual knit night is, it's an online knit night. And the one that I did was through Google Hangouts. So you use a Google Plus account, and then somebody says, here's a link to where it is, and you just join in. You do have to have a camera on your computer and a microphone to be able to join in. But then you just sit there and talk. So that was fun. We talked for almost 2 hours. So that was a good time, and I got some knitting done. And got to know people a little bit better. So that was fun. I had a really good time. If you have time in your evening or during your day to be able to do one, definitely do it. It's fun to meet new people. I used to, actually, I started a knitting group here in Cincinnati. It was the Northeast Cincinnati Knitters Group, and it's still going on, but I started it in 2004 or 2005. And it was a really good time for me to meet people. We would meet at a Barnes & Noble and just sit and knit, and I think over time people got busy with other things and couldn't come, but there were always more people coming. And so it's kind of like a brand new group, and now I think that they meet over at a Panera. I'm not sure why they don't meet at the Barnes & Noble anymore. It was a really nice spot. They had huge, comfy chairs. But met a lot of great people, like Mindy Wilkes, who wrote the Holden Shawlette. I met Mindy way back before she had her kids, when she was still just a working lady. And, you know, I made a lot of really great friendships with a lot of great people. My sons are still very close friends with kids from school, and their moms came to my knitting group. And that was also really helpful, because even though I was very involved in the school, I also didn't know little certain things that she happened to know. So it was nice to get other information about the inner workings of how the school behaved. Like, I was there almost every day, either tutoring children. I would go in and help the special ed kids with reading, and I would also do Friday folders. If you're not a parent, or if you are unaware of what Friday folders are, that is when, at the end of the week, your child comes home with a folder stacked to the brim with all of the announcements, all of the information for signing up for wrestling or jump rope or Scrabble team, and all of their graded papers for the week, and their report on their behavior and things like that for the week. So I would be there in the teacher's copy room, paper room, doing that all the time, and would pick up on overhearing conversations and things like that from the teachers, but I still didn't have a real good grip on things. And I was the after-school program coordinator for the PTA, and I still didn't know everything. So it's really good to join a knitting group, because you never know what you're going to learn. You never know what kind of people you're going to get to interact with and meet and gain new friendships and knowledge from. And I met all of them when my kids were in elementary school, and my kids are all graduated now, and I live on the other side of town. I don't see any of them anymore, and I miss them. So if you're watching, hi, I miss you guys. And it was just a really wonderful time. So if you're curious about virtual knit nights and you have a working computer camera and microphone, you should look on Google Plus or look on Plurk to see when people say, hey, I'm probably going to do a VKN, which means virtual knit night. Join in and say hi, because it was a lot of fun. I had a great time doing that. the last thing I'm going to talk about is, oh, a lot of times when I sign up for free services and things like that, I don't necessarily use my own birthday. I will maybe use my dog's birthday or my cat's birthday, and sometimes I use my husband's birthday. And yesterday was my husband's birthday. Unfortunately, when I signed up for Plurk, I did not realize that I had signed up with my husband's birthday. And so, out of the goodness and kindness of her heart, yesterday, Rista1313 from Girl Cave Bags did a random active pattern for me, and she also left me a little note saying, well, now you're older than me until September. And I was like, I am? And I was really, really confused. And it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then she had said on Plurk, happy birthday to SheepDreamery. And I was like, oh no, I gotta nip this in the bud. And I was like, it's not my birthday, it's my husband's birthday. And people were like, but you have cake next to your name. And I was like, no. So I went back in and I changed it. But that is a lesson for me, is that I should hide birthdays if they're not actually my birthday. So I really appreciate the pattern that she gifted me. It's the Fairy Lights and Orchids hat by Stephanie Dosen, Tiny Owl Knits, and it's a really cute pattern, so I am looking forward to making it. I just feel really terrible that she got it for me thinking that it was my birthday, and it was my husband's birthday. I'm so sorry about that. That was crazy. For future reference, my birthday's October 8th. Like I was saying last week, 8 is my favorite number because it's my birthday, it's my husband's birthday, it's my daughter's birthday, and it's the anniversary day of my husband's and I's wedding. So, sorry about that. I did not mean to confuse people. That was a really terrible error on my part. So, I apologize. I'm sorry that there was a cake next to my name and stuff. I did not realize the inner workings of Plurk would go like that. So that was just a huge screw up, and I'm sorry. I'm still laughing though, because I made a big stupid mistake, and I can't believe how stupid it was, and that it was something where other people noticed and I had to correct it. So I guess I'm also laughing because I'm embarrassed, and when I'm embarrassed I laugh. So anyway, I think that's it from me for this week. Next week I will have the drying yarn to show you, and I still have more yarn to dye. So big busy days coming in the future, and look for the mini skeins, and I guess that's it. I hope you all have a great week, and I hope you have fun knitting or crocheting or crafting, whatever you decide to do. I'll see you next week. Bye!